Hello my lovelies, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Angel from Simply Angel Tia. In this video I will be making this cute crop top with you, so hopefully you guys are ready, you have your materials good to go, so we can go ahead and make this cute top here. This is something you can wear inside of a nice leather jacket, inside of a nice sweater. It's just overall something that you can wear, dress it up, or you can casualize it down, and it's something that will just kind of pop your outfit out for you. So you can obviously make these in any colors of your choice, but as you can see here, I chose these two beautiful colors, this purple and this light pink. So cute together. Anyways, you go ahead and gather your materials. I will do the same. So let me show you guys what I used, and then we'll go ahead and get started with the video. Hey lovelies, so before we get this project started, I'm going to show you all the materials that we're using for this. And as you can see here, I have my two colors for the yarn here. They're both from the same brand, by the way, so I bought these from Hobby online, and this we had yarn 100% classic acrylic yarn. It's 50 grams per one of these skeins here, and this one here is color number 18, and this one is key color number 21. So those are the different colors, but I just call it light pink and light purple. So that is what I'm gonna go by. And they're both a lightweight number 3, and recommended hook size is 4 to 5 millimeter crochet hook, or US G6 or H8. Okay, so you can use anywhere from 4 millimeter crochet hook to a 5 millimeter crochet hook. Okay, so with that said, I'm using my favorite hook, which is G6 US 4.25 millimeter crochet hook. I have my scissors here, I have some stitch markers, I have a darning needle as well as a tape measure to determine my size. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and get started. So we're gonna get started with this project. So we're gonna leave a little bit of a tail here just to be able to join the two sides of our band together. And for this top, we're going to be working it from the bottom up. So this is going to be the band that goes right underneath the crop top, and then we will work on the body and then the top. Okay, all right, so we're gonna leave just a little bit of a tail hanging, and then we're gonna start by doing a slip knot. So just do a slip knot however you usually do it. That's how I do mine. And then I'm going to do a chain of 21. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 20 and 1. Okay, so that is my chain of 21, and this is going to be the width of the band of the bottom part of your crop top. And so from this point on, we're going to be working just the band portion of the top. So we're going to skip this first stitch right here, and in the next stitch we're going to go in the back and do a single crochet stitch. So again, you guys know I love this stitch, so I'll probably do almost every project with this stitch here. So you just grab the back of the foundation chain, the back loop of the foundation chain, and do your single crochets, and you're going to go all the way to the end of this row. And by the time that you finish this row, you should have 20 stitches all together. Okay, so go ahead and do that, and I will see you guys when you get to the end. Okay, my lovely, so I completed my first row of the single crochet stitches here. So as you can see, that's what it looks like. And then I'm going to chain 1, and I'm going to turn my work around, and then I'm going to do half the single crochet stitches in the back of the loop, the back loop of the single crochet stitches from the previous row. And that, as you can see here, we're just going back to the back loop and grabbing the back loop, and you're doing this again without skipping any stitches. So as soon as you do your chain 1 and turn here, the very next stitch right after that is where you work your back loop single crochet. And you do this all the way to the end, and when you have just one stitch left at the end, you go through both loops instead of just the back loop, and then you chain 1 and you repeat. Okay, so I'm not gonna show you guys a lot more of this. Again, if you guys are part of my lovely subscribers here and you follow my tutorials, you will realize that I do them exactly the same. So you should not have any problem just starting this portion of it. And I'm just gonna talk a little bit about the sizes instead. So I'm making a small crop top here, and so what you will do is, for us to determine how wide we want this part of the top to be, you're going to take a tape measure and measure your bust, so the widest part of your bust, and whatever that number is in inches is what I usually use. Then you're going to make this band to be as wide as that number. And of course, when you really stretch your work, because this pattern here stretches quite a lot and depends on what type of yarn you use as well, it could really stretch. So then of course, when you do the number of rows that you're doing here and you pull it, it's going to be in this direction here. If you pull it and stretch it, and if it adds up to be the circumference of the widest part of your bust, then that's where you stop. So for example, my bust is about 31 inches. And so I'm going to do number of rows that will, as I go, I will be stretching it and measuring it until I get to 31 is where I will stop. Okay, so go ahead and repeat this until you get there, and when you do have your size, come back and we will move on to the next step together. See you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed the length that I'm looking for here. So I have my 31 inches, and again, if I stretch my work, as you can see here, if you stretch this material, it stretches quite a lot. And it may be different depending on the type of wool that you're using, but this is acrylic, and acrylics tend to usually be very stretchy. But anyway, so I ended up with about 90 rows altogether here, and that got me my length. So what I will do here is I will just finish these off here and then cut the yarn, and then we will join the two sides so we can go ahead and do the rest of it. Just need to find my crochet hook here. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just take my scissors, and I'm gonna cut this yarn somewhere anywhere here, and we're going to slip stitch this and close it off. Okay, so there you go. We're just gonna slip stitch that and lock that off. And what I'm gonna do then, the chain or the string that we left at the beginning, we left it a little bit longer, so we can use it to join the two sides here like this. Okay, so we're gonna line up our work very nice and neat like this, and you should have 20 stitches here on each side, so you shouldn't have any problem joining this with equal number of stitches on each side. You're gonna take your darning needle and you're gonna put it in the yarn in the darning needle so we can go ahead and join the two sides. Okay. And by the way, in terms of sizes, this would, like as I explained how you do this part, the wider you do this part, the wider the rest of the top is going to be, just because this is going to be longer by nature if it is wider. Okay, so let's say your bust is like 36 inches, then this would have been a little bit longer, which makes the rest of the shirt bigger as well. So with me making a small, this is what I get. If you're making a medium or a large or whatever, then you will see that it increases based on how you start this part of the project. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start joining these two sides here. So I'm just going to go to the very first stitch on this side here, and then grab the first stitch on the other side, and I'm going to pull it. And again, I'm going to do that twice just to secure that section here fully. And then in the next stitch, I'm going to grab the loop closest to me, and then the loop that is the closest to me but from the other side. Okay, so the inside loop, the outside loop on this side, and the inside loop on the other side. And I'm going to repeat that. So I'm going to go to the next stitch and do the same thing. And I'm going to do this pretty much all the way to the end. And like I said, because you have 20 stitches per side, you should be able to line it up pretty well. If for some reason you run short on one side, just double up on some of the stitches and you should be fine. So that's not a reason to be worried at all. You could always have a workaround where you just double up on some stitches. Okay, so I'm gonna join my band here all the way to the other side, and when I get to this end here, I will come back and I will show you guys how to start the next part of the project. Okay, my lovelies, so I have joined it all the way here. So for the final stitch, I did go through both loops just like we did at the beginning, and then this is the second one that I'm doing here. So that's gonna just kind of guarantee the safety of it going fully in there. And so as you can see, this is where we joined it. It looks very nice. And so what I'm going to do is remove my darning needle. And for this section here, I'm just going to knot it so it doesn't kind of come apart as we're working on the rest of the project. So I'm going to have it like this. And this is going to be the band that goes right on your, not waist, but let's say just right covering your belly button or above your belly button, depending on how you would want this to fit. So with this done, we're going to start using a different color. So we're changing the color from this point on, and we're going to do the body of the crop top in the different color, the other color, this guy here. And then we're going to do the top part of the top back in this color, and we will talk about all of that when we get there. But for now, grab your other color if you're doing two different colors. If you're doing one color, then you just continue to use the same color here, so you would have not needed to cut it off, you just leave it on. But since I am using a different color, I cut it off so that I can join the new color here. And obviously this happens to me quite a lot. It is knotted in multiple places, so I'm going to just take a quick second here to undo all of this, and then I will show you how to join this color. Okay, so I've gone ahead and unknotted my yarn here, so everything is straight and good to go. And so I'm going to show you guys how to start the next part of the project here, and of course we're changing the color as well. So I'm going to make this section here my starting point, so we're going to always have this as a start point and finishing point because we're going around. So I'm just going to do a slip knot here, just like that, and then I'm going to grab that very first stitch right here, and I'm going to put the needle back or the hook back in that hole, bring it in, pull just to make it tight, and then I'm going to do a chain of 2. Okay, actually let's undo that. We're going to do a row of half double crochets here first, and so with that said, we just do one chain 1, and then we're just going to go to the next, and we're going to do a half double crochet. I like to do this when I work with the project like this because I determine the stitches before I start the actual pattern itself. So but if you don't want to do this, then just skip this section, and in the next row is where we will start to do something different, so you can always kind of wait for that section. But I'm just gonna go ahead and do a row of half double crochets going around the circumference of my top here. And when I get back to this section here, come back and I will show you then how to do the next part of the project. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have completed that first row of the half double crochet here. So as you can see, it's in this different color. I think I like that it has that little accent of pinkish light purple there. I like these two colors together. So anyway, so you do see that we just completed the first row there, which is just a row of half double crochets around the circumference of the top here. And now that we're back here, we're going to slip stitch on top of the chain 1 that we completed from the previous row, just to close that section completely like that. And this here is going to be your guide. You will know that this is where you're starting and this is where you're finishing, because it's going to have where these strings are, because we're working around the circle of the top. All right, now that we have that, we're going to chain 1, and this doesn't count as a stitch, but in that same stitch there, we're going to do a single crochet, just like that. And then in the next stitch here, we're going to do a double crochet. And then in the next stitch here, we're going to do a single crochet. And in the next stitch, we're going to do a double crochet. And in the next stitch, a single crochet. Okay, so if you can see here, we're alternating between a single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, and we're going to do that all around until we come back here. Let me do this row with you, and when we get back here, I'm going to show you how to start the next row, and then I will have you guys build this part of the top on your own. Okay, so let's finish this row together. Come all the way to here and then come back to the video. Okay, my loves, so again, I have worked this all the way to the beginning here. So this is our second row, and as you can see, we're doing this alternation of single crochet and double crochet just to create a little bit of a texture. So it's not quite a straight double crochet, and it's not a straight single crochet. It's just something in between, so it creates a nice texture. Okay, now as you can see here, the last stitch that I did was with the single crochet. I have one stitch to go here, which is going to be a double crochet, and then as you remember, we started with a single crochet. Okay, so I'm going to go right into that final stitch in the middle and complete my double crochet, and then the single crochet is this stitch that we started with. So I'm just going to slip stitch on top of that stitch like this to close this section off like that. So this is the end of row 2, and it's the first row of the alternation of single crochet and double crochet. And so this is going to be a repeat row we just did. So I'm going to just start this section with you, and then you can go ahead and build the rest of it. So I'm going to do a chain of 1, and in that same stitch we're going to do a single crochet, just like that. And then in the next stitch we're going to do a double crochet, and then in the next stitch we're going to do a single crochet, and then a double crochet, and then a single crochet. And again, you're going to alternate these all throughout again, and you're going to continue to repeat this. When you come here, you do slip stitch, you chain 1, you continue to repeat what we just did here, and you do this until you have the length that you're looking for. So for me, like I said, I'm making a small, and this is where your tape measure is gonna go. It's gonna come in handy. So you're going to measure where, first of all, this is, you have to determine how far down this is gonna go. So let's say you want this to cover your belly button, then where this ends on top, you will measure from there, and you will go all the way up to where it fully covers your bust. So up just until a little bit, like if you were to put it under your armpits, and it comes out across your chest and then under the other armpit. So that's how far you're going to do it. So for example, for me, I am going to do about 6 to 8 inches. I will keep trying it as I go, but I'm probably gonna make something that long, but it could be this long depending on how I want the top, how long I want the top to be. But what I will do first is I'll do the 6 inches, which means I'll go up to about here. So from here to here. And then when I've reached the 6 inches, I will try it on to see if it's too short or if it's too long. And if it's too short, I will increase. And if it's too short, I will decrease. But for now, let's do about 6 inches worth. And of course, you're going to do however many inches you want to do. And then when you finish that, come back to the video and we will look at it, and then we'll do, or we will talk about what we need to do for the top part of your crop top. Okay, see you guys in my lovelies. So I have gone ahead and worked the stitches here, and I did about 22 rows. It does look small because we're using a very tight stitch, and as you can see, this is pretty much what it looks like. If I just measure this really quick, this section here that is in this pink color is about, let's try to use inches, that's better. It's about 6 inches for this pink color here. And then of course I have about 4 stitches in this. So altogether I have 10 stitches in my top here, in my crop top. Okay, so if you're looking to obviously do this to be a little bit longer, you will continue to work the stitches until it's a little bit longer. So for example, for my top here, it's just right above my belly button. So this is how I'm going to keep this, and this is where I'm going to stop in terms of the amount of rows that I'm doing. And like I said, again, you can continue to build it up depending on how many rows you want to do or how long you want it to be. Okay. All right. So this part of the top is done. We do have one more panel to complete, and then we will be done. For this part, I'm not going to actually show you how to do it because it's literally repeating this part here. Okay. So we're going to repeat what we did in this part here. The only difference is going to be the length. Okay, so we're going to do this part to be a lot longer, because what it is we're going to measure the widest part of our shoulders. Okay, so if you were to put your, let's say this was your shoulders are right here and this is the top of your body, you're going to take your tape measure and you're going to measure the front part of your chest, just like this, or your shoulders, especially going around your arms. And then you're going to measure the back side as well. So let's say my shoulders was about 12 inches. This is obviously just make-believe. Let's say my shoulders in the front were about 12 inches. If I go to the back and I measure and it's about the same, then it means I have to make a piece that is 24 inches long. And this part here is going to be what we're repeating. So pretty much go back to the beginning of the video and start this part over, but except you're going to work it so that it's the circumference of your shoulders. If you want around your shoulders, and then right above your chest, then you will end up having to create the part that is the right size. So I'm going to work on mine off camera, and when I have that, I'll come back to show you guys what that looks like. And then of course we will need to join that to the top so that we can have it ready and to be worn. Okay, all right, so go ahead and start working on that, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Okay, my lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed the piece I just talked about here. So as you can see, it's pretty much the same as the band, the bottom band of the top here, but we're making this for the top. Okay, so this is done for me. I did about 140 rows altogether, and as you can see, this is how long it is. And this is pretty much the circumference of my shoulders, from shoulder to shoulder, around my back, around my front. And if I expand it, or if I stretch it like this, it's quite stretchy. And so this is what you're gonna need for the top of your top like this. So let me just bring this into focus, into view. So this is pretty much how we're gonna be joining this part of it here. Our armpit, or our arm, one of our arms will come down on the side here, and the other arm will come down on the side here. But first, we're going to join this section here, just the same as we did with the bottom part, with this part here when we started the project. You're going to join this here and make it shut. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pretty much kind of stretch our top nice like that. And we're going to mark it off with stitch markers. So I will put a stitch marker here, stitch marker here. And that will close off where our arm is going to come down through, and the same thing on the other side. And then we do that for the flip side as well. And what it's going to be is that we're going to pretty much join from here to here, and then on the flip side we're going to do the exact same. And then that's pretty much going to be the top for us here. Okay, but I'm gonna come back and show you guys where I put my stitch markers, and then you're going to go ahead and join these on your own, because again, we have done the joining before. So all you will just need to do is either grab a color like this or grab a color like this, whichever one that you choose is okay. And then you're just going to join your top like this, and on the other side. But more importantly, make sure you're joining the other side here first as well. Okay, so I'm going to join my top here, and I'm going to put it nice and mark off where I'm going to be sewing. And then I'm gonna come back and I will show you guys how it looks like, and then we'll go ahead and join it offline. Okay, so see you guys in my lovelies. So I have gone ahead and put my stitch markers. So I have already joined the end here, and then I've gone ahead and put my stitch markers where I'm gonna mark off my armhole. And again, it's important that you stretch it a little bit like this, and make sure that your arm can actually come through these spaces that you're gonna leave open on the sides here. So that is very important, because we're going to be joining it all straight down here. And then when we flip it to the other side, you're going to be doing the same on this side here. So it's going to be shut here completely, so that the only way to get through is going to be from the top or the bottom. But more importantly, that you're leaving space for your armhole here. The more important thing also is to take a tape measure and measure the top of your shoulder, so the widest part of your arm. And the widest part of your arm is gonna be where you want to make sure the circumference with your tape comes around. Okay, so for example, if I measure the circumference of the widest part of my arm right now, it's about 11 inches. Okay, so it's about 11 inches, like this roundness. So if I go like this, that is the circumference of the widest part of my arm. So I want to make sure I have that space here so that my arm can go through. So if I put this down here and I just press it and I pull it, this is going to be where my arm will fit. It's quite wide because this material is very stretchy like this. So you want to make sure that this circumference here is going to be the size of the widest part of your arm. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna go ahead and join this offline here. Like I said, I have a lot of tutorials that shows how to crochet or join panels together. Go ahead and look at one of those if you don't know how to join. But I'm pretty much going to be putting one of these colors into my darning needle here, and I'm just going to go ahead and join this side to this side here, and we're going to go along all the way here. And then when I finish this side, I will flip it to the other side and do the same. And then when I have that joined, I'll come back to the video and show you guys how it looks, the end product. Okay, see you guys in a bit. My lovelies, so I have gone ahead and completed joining the second piece here to the top, and as you can see, that's pretty much how our crop top looks. This is so cute. I love these two colors together. And yeah, so this is pretty much it here. I joined it all along here, and on the other side I did the same. I joined it along here, so everything is pretty much good and ready to be worn. This is where our arms will come down, and this is the neckline. Right up on top here is where the neckline will be. Obviously, based on the pictures, you guys will see how nice it looks, but this is pretty much the end of it here. I love these two colors together. I'm obsessed with it. Thank you so much for watching the video to the end, and I hope you enjoyed making this top with me today. If you're new here and you have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up, and of course make sure you comment, even just to say hello, to say anything. But more importantly, if you have any questions, it would be nice if you could ask me in the description box or in the comment section below, and I'll go ahead and answer them for you. Thank you so much again, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.